Couscous. Hey friends, how are ya? Okay, so my friends at my networking meeting were a little impressed by my ability to get dressed and do my hair today, so I figured I'd have to do a live. But really what inspired me to do this live is my lunch that I'm making right now. I want to talk about couscous versus quinoa, and I actually also want to talk about farro because I had done a video. It's on my YouTube channel. If you look up Jill Ortiz, farro versus quinoa, something like that, you'll see that I compared them and they were actually pretty much exactly the same in nutritional value. Farro is kind of like barley, and quinoa, the big difference between those is that farro is wheat, right? And it's durum based. I don't know. It's not gluten-free. Okay, quinoa is gluten-free. And so I have 2 bags here actually of the Israeli couscous that I picked up from Trader Joe's the other day. I rarely ever go to Trader Joe's because it's all the way in Danbury, and to me that's really far. I don't really go much past Brewster anymore, especially because I get all my stuff delivered these days, my clothing, my groceries, and I just go right down the street to the gas station. I got my guy, Lazaro. He knows how to take care of my gas. I don't even get out of the car. So I don't go very far anymore. So I had to go to Danbury the other day to grab my table runner from my friend Mary, who is the most amazing graphic design person. She does my tank tops. She does my table runner. She's awesome. She's 39 weeks pregnant. So shout out to Mary Lichadolik for doing what you do while 39 weeks pregnant. But I was over by Trader Joe's, so I figured I'd run in. I went to Starbucks, all that fun stuff. Worked there for a while. And so while I was there, I got the one thing that I get at Trader Joe's, and that is this Israeli couscous that I'm going to have to pour into the pot in a second. Harvest Grains Blend. It's actually like the base is the Israeli couscous, and I gotta make sure I know how I'm making it. I have to reduce heat and cover for 10 minutes. But I love that it's actually a blend of a lot of different grains. Now this is wheat. All these different grains are wheat based, so it has a savory blend of Israeli couscous, orzo, baby garbanzo beans, and red quinoa. And it makes my palate so happy because there's different textures. I thought there was lentils in there. I guess those are the little baby whatevers, garbanzo beans. But it just makes my palate so happy. And when I make it with either vegetable broth or chicken broth or beef broth. I don't just do water. Let me grab a top so I can do this, and actually let me time it. 2:15. And so I just love it. So I picked up like 5 bags. I think they were $2.99 each. And I'm making the whole bag because I'll eat this a little bit with my salad. I'll eat some with my steamed vegetables tonight for dinner. I'm getting ready for bikini on Friday, so that's what I'm eating. I have fruit for breakfast, and I'll have my shake today. But I'll be eating a lot of this week. But I love it, and I'll also have some quinoa so that I'm not getting bored and not eating the same thing every day and not overdoing it on the wheat. I don't have, yeah, I know garbanzo beans are chickpeas. I was asking if they were lentils or the baby garbanzos. So I don't want to overdo it with the wheat. I don't have a sensitivity, but that's the difference. Is I want to tell you the nutritional information of this versus the quinoa. So this Bob's Red Mill quinoa actually came in my market box a couple weeks ago. They have these great add-ons. They're the ones who I get all of my organic produce from, but you can add on like everything, so you really don't have to go to the store. And I loved reading the description. I wish they had this on that bag. Native to South America, quinoa is a pseudo grain. It's actually a gluten-free seed, but is used in cooking like a whole grain. This amazing plant was domesticated thousands of years ago near Lake Titicaca, high on plateaus of the Andes Mountains, and it was a mainstay in the diet of the ancient Incas. Quinoa is delicious on its own and in pilaf, soups, and salads. Our quinoa has been thoroughly rinsed and air-dried to remove the naturally occurring bitter saponins, something like that. So what's important to know, though, is that because I run my vegan meal plan, right? And my vegan Kickstart meal plan includes a lot of quinoa. And people will ask me, is your plan gluten-free? And I say, yes, it is gluten-free. Our shakes don't have any gluten ingredients in them, although it will have the warning on there that it's made in a factory that has other products that might include gluten. And so that's the same thing with quinoa. And if you're gluten-free or have celiac or a sensitivity to gluten or wheat, you let me know if you eat quinoa or don't eat quinoa, because the problem is that oftentimes the quinoa is grown next to the other wheat type of grains. So that could be the problem, is that it's not it's a seed, it's not a grain, but it's grown in the same fields as the grains. So you have to be careful with that. But when I look at a serving, which is a 1/4 cup for each, the quinoa is 180 calories. The couscous is 170. The quinoa is 2.5 grams of fat, and the couscous is 1. The carbs are about the same. The carbs in the quinoa is 32 versus 34 in the couscous. The dietary fibers is the same in both, 2 grams each. The couscous has 2 grams of sugar, where the quinoa has no sugar. And the protein in the couscous is 6 versus the protein is 7 in the quinoa. And then what I found with the farro is that the farro was pretty much the same as the quinoa, but again, farro is wheat and quinoa is not. And then another interesting thing, when I do my vegan cleanse, you can do just the quinoa, but I like to include the farro too, or now I'll use the couscous, because I love texture. I love the chewiness of the farro, of the couscous, the different things in this couscous that I get at Trader Joe's. And I always make them with not just water, but beef broth, chicken broth, veggie broth. I love the College Inn garden vegetable broth, and honestly, I was grabbing all the vegetables out to make my salad, because I'll have the salad with the couscous for lunch. I want to make sure I'm getting my carbs to fuel the rest of my day. I don't want to conk out at 3 o'clock. And my shake helps me with that too. But I have to give a shout out to my husband, Jay. I was busy all weekend training the Army Reserves guy, and then at a vendor fair yesterday, and he stepped up and did the food shopping with the boys, and so far got everything right. And he warned me that I was not going to be able to yell at him if he did anything wrong anyways, because he was doing me a favor in doing the food shopping. So I got to give a shout out to Jay for that. So I'm going to hop off, make my salad. By the time my salad's done, the couscous should be ready too. I'm going to enjoy that for lunch. Maybe combine them together. I'm not sure. So if you guys have any questions about couscous, quinoa, farro, you want to try my 5-day vegan kickstart, I am going to be bikini ready by Friday, so you keep an eye out, and you let me know. And then I also have my 21 Days to Stunning coming up, which will be at the end of the month. We start February 29th. We'll be doing 3 weeks together of portion control nutrition, 30-minute exercises, workouts at home, and a lot of support. So keep an eye out. All right, see you everybody. Have a great lunch.